What's going on, Super Troopers? I hope you're doing wonderful and thank you for tuning into my video. What you see right here before your eyes is some Battlefield 4, and wow, does it feel nice to say that. This was a match of Rush on the map Operation Metro 2014, which was a remake of one of the most popular maps in Battlefield 3. Absolutely wonderful map, one of the classics, and I'm playing as one of my favorite classes, which is Assault in this game, but also it's called Medic in some of the future titles, just depending on what Battlefield you're used to. Now, can we just take a second and appreciate how good this game looks? This game came out in 2013, people, 2013. So I had recently been helping out one of my teammates with getting a PC. Woo, we kind of converted him over to the PC Legion. I do think he still has his PlayStation and stuff, but don't worry, he's coming around. And we've been playing some Battlefield 4 on PC, and he was just in complete awe when he first loaded it up. If you're out there watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know, that could be struck up to it being on PC versus console back in the day, but still, you know, the game looks amazing. The video just doesn't do it justice. The beginning of this match was pretty cool, but if I haven't done it already, I'm gonna jump ahead pretty soon to the point where we entered the Metro, because that part is gonna align exactly with what I'm talking about here, and that is how some people dislike Battlefield because they think it's slow paced or boring. So as I'm sure you saw, I have that quote in the title, and that's not directed towards anybody in particular. It's just kind of a general thing, a general stigma that I hear sometimes attached to Battlefield. However, I did have a conversation with another one of my teammates at the time, and he pretty much said that the reason he prefers Call of Duty over Battlefield is because COD is faster paced. There's more action, more running and gunning. Now, like I said, that isn't the only time I've heard that. Many people who have never played Battlefield have this idea that because the game is more on the realism side, it means that it's boring or slow paced. So, to that very statement, if you feel like that, you know, if you're one of those type of people, I want you to continue watching this gameplay. This match was everything but slow paced. I had my headphones cranked up in this match, and it's been a long time since I felt this kind of immersion and rush, that same one that I mentioned in my last video. For me personally, I look at the first person shooter scene in one of 3 different categories, mostly from 3 main titles. The first category is games like Call of Duty, which I consider to be a Twitch shooter. I think I've mentioned that before in another video, but no, not like the streaming service. To me, the highest skill point in that game involves something like, I don't know, doing drugs and drinking a Bang energy drink and getting so wired that you just shoot everything on the map that moves. When it comes down to it, that's how most of the gunfights work in that game. It's whoever sees the other person first, and in a tenth of a second they're dead. That's pretty much it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that that's easy. There's definitely a high skill cap when it comes to Call of Duty. You have to be faster than the other person, and there are a ton of people out there who are 10 times faster than the average Joe. But you know, that's it. There's not very much to it. If it makes sense, we can kind of compare these to buildings, right? So you can look at Call of Duty like a cell phone tower. Yeah, it's really high up. It's kind of cool, but there's not a lot of substance to it. It's just, you know, a metal framework, and that's it. The second category on the opposite end of the spectrum are the mil-sim or military simulation shooters. You know, you got things like Arma, Squad, Escape from Tarkov, which I will admit, I've never gotten around to playing, to trying, and I would like to do that someday. But those titles, like I said, are on the opposite end of the spectrum. They are the slowest paced, most realistic shooters out there. I guess you can look at those like a huge Boeing plant or something. They're enormous, they have a lot of moving parts, they have a very broad base of things to apply and learn and ways to improve. But because it's so realistic, maybe it doesn't have the absolute highest peak of a skill cap. And if they did, because of the way the matches work, you don't have an abundance of opportunity to really grow your experience. Now, if you're a die-hard Milsim fan, please don't crucify me. Like I said, I've never actually tried them, but I have seen a good bit of gameplay, and that's just what I see based on the simple fact that, like I said, because it's so realistic, there's only so much you can do at a time. These games are definitely expansive and broad and, pretty tall, but it may be more difficult to get to those heights like you can in other titles. The third category is where I place Battlefield, which I consider to be right in the middle of the spectrum. Battlefield has never been twitchy like Call of Duty, but you get absolutely insane moments just like you see in this gameplay. Battlefield definitely isn't Milsim, but you use a hell of a lot of teamwork and apply a lot of real life tactics to the game. I'd look at Battlefield like the Empire State Building. It's got a tall skill cap, but it also has some size to it. You take the classes for example. Each of the 4 classes, medic / assault, engineer, recon / scout, support, they all have an immense amount of things to learn and roles to apply within a team. That's not even considering the countless other things that you can become extremely proficient at in Battlefield. Unlike some other games, Battlefield's pacing is dictated by a large number of different factors. In a game like Call of Duty, 80% of its maps cater to that twitchy shoot first, kill first style of gameplay. That game is largely controlled by the maps. In Battlefield, I don't think I need to remind anybody how huge and expansive the maps can be. But the thing is, they all aren't like that. You take this one for example, Operation Metro. It's a medium-sized map, therefore the pace of the game ramps up dramatically. Not only that, Battlefield's maps are dynamic. If you're playing a game mode like Rush, you might start the match in an open field with little to no cover, things are pretty slow, but the next set of objectives could have you in a tiny corridor where things get extremely hot. And let's say you're on a map in an area where things are too fast for your taste. You have options. You can pick a class that isn't as involved in direct fighting and just slow down your own tempo. There are so many ways that you can decide how your experience will end up when it comes to Battlefield, and that's why it was always A1 to me. Now notice how I did say was. I had to include that in there for logical purposes. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry, that's another talk for another day, but we'll see how that goes. If you've never tried Battlefield, or you have and you've forgotten just how insane it can be, I'd like to see what you think about pacing when it comes to these kind of games in the comment section below. If you enjoyed some Battlefield 4, me jumping into the fray on Operation Metro, leaving a thumbs up will let me know and help this video get out to other awesome people just like yourself. To see more of my content, make sure you hit that subscribe button with the bell icon, which will let you know when I upload again. Thank you for watching, and I hope you come back sometime.
It's a raid! Bingo.